You wake up, 7:47 a.m., same as yesterday, same as every morning. You go through your day, but something feels familiar, like you've done this before, exactly like this. We call it deja vu, a brain glitch, a false memory. Comforting. But what if it's not a glitch? What if you're not remembering something that didn't happen? What if you're forgetting something that will happen again, forever? Physics doesn't just suggest time loops, it mathematically proves them. And today, we are going to look at the terrifying mathematical reality that proves we are trapped in one right now. Welcome to the loop. You've been here before, you'll be here again. But to understand the true horror of this trap, we first have to look at a 19th century mathematician who proved that the entire universe is just a cosmic lottery with rigged numbers. The statistical certainty. In 1890, mathematician Henri Poincaré proved something that shattered the illusion of a linear universe. In a closed system, given infinite time, particles will eventually return to their exact starting positions. It sounds impossible, but statistically inevitable. The universe is a closed system, and given infinite time, everything, every atom, every quantum state must return to its exact configuration. That number is incomprehensibly large, but it is finite, and anything finite will eventually happen. Which means this exact moment, with you watching this exact video, with all the particles in the universe arranged precisely as they are now, will happen again, exactly, down to the quantum level, and again and again. Every particle returning to its exact position, spinning out the same conversation, the same thoughts you're having right now. You're not trapped in a prison, you're trapped in probability. But if the idea of atoms endlessly rearranging themselves sounds terrifying, wait until you hear what happens to the universe itself. Because reality doesn't just rearrange, it aggressively deletes and reboots itself.
The Big Bounce. Nobel laureate Roger Penrose proposed something that makes statistical loops look tame. The universe doesn't have a beginning or end. It's an infinite cycle of deaths and rebirths. When the universe reaches heat death, maximum entropy, everything cold and dead, something impossible happens. When scale vanishes, heat death becomes mathematically identical to a Big Bang. The universe doesn't end, it transforms. Heat death triggers another Big Bang, starting a new cycle. But here's the trap. Each cycle is identical to all previous ones, a rubber ball bouncing on concrete. You've lived this cycle before. In the previous universe, you went through this exact sequence. Every Big Bang creates the same universe. Every life plays out identically. The cycle is eternal, and you're caught in it with no memory of the previous bounces. The Big Bounce perpetuates the loop across trillions of years. But what if you don't have to wait for the universe to die? What if the actual geometry of space-time is actively twisting your life into a circle right now? Closed timelike curves. Einstein's equations of general relativity explicitly allowed time to curve back on itself. These are called closed time-like curves. Some exotic space-time configurations, like rotating Kerr black holes, mathematically contain these loops. You'd advance through your life, age forward, but eventually arrive back at your own birth. If the universe's topology contains a CTC, then your entire life path might be circular. You're born, you age, and at the end, you arrive back at your beginning and start again. Same choices, same everything. Think of the universe like a GIF file. The GIF plays frame by frame, and when it reaches the end, it jumps back to the beginning. You don't progress toward the future, you orbit eternally around a fixed path. You are circling through a fixed geometry. But maybe your nightmare isn't repeating your life linearly. What if you are living infinite versions of this exact second, all at the same time, scattered across a dark, endless void?
The infinite copies. Physicist André Linde proposed eternal inflation. The Big Bang didn't happen once. It's happening infinitely everywhere, all the time, creating infinite bubble universes. Here's the trap. If there are infinite universes, but only a finite number of ways particles can arrange themselves, then you must exist infinitely many times. infinitely far away, in causally disconnected regions of space, there are exact copies of you having this exact thought. They'll make the same decisions, die at the same moment, all identically. You're not unique. You're an inevitable recurring pattern in an infinite cosmic lattice. You are simultaneously living your life across infinite distant universes, identically. Physics dictates this cosmic copy machine. But what if the universe isn't a physical reality at all? What if these time loops are just maintenance cycles for a broken software? The simulation reset. If the universe is a simulation, then time loops might not be physics, they might be hardware. Computers crash, they need debugging. When they reset, they reload from the last save state. What if the universe does that? Every time you experience deja vu, your brain is briefly remembering a previous simulation run before the memory gets properly suppressed by the reset. Reality is a video game that crashes every few trillion years. When it reboots, it reloads the autosave. Deja vu isn't a glitch in your brain, it's a message from your own consciousness trying to warn you, you've been here before. Deja vu is a memory leak from a previous run, and if we are just software running in a loop, then the final theory proves why you are mathematically forbidden from ever escaping. The system simply won't let you die. The eternal loop. Hugh Everett's many worlds interpretation says every quantum event splits reality into branching timelines. Most branches lead to death, but your consciousness always experiences the survival branch. Not because it's likely, because it's the only path you can experience. From your subjective perspective, you can never die. But here's the trap. As you live longer, your survival requires increasingly improbable quantum events. The universe contorts around you, making impossible miracles happen to keep you alive, and you'll never realize it. You'll exist forever in increasingly looped, recycled, impossible universes, conscious of none of it, trapped in endless quantum survival chains. The math doesn't offer hope. Every theory proves the same thing. You're not moving through time, you're cycling through it. You've forgotten the previous loops, but they happened, and they'll happen again. Every thought you have right now, this very one, has existed infinitely in past iterations. And when this video ends, you'll go back to your life. You'll forget this warning, and in 1 trillion years, you'll watch it again, exactly like this. Welcome to the loop. But what if this loop isn't a natural phenomenon of physics? What if it was deliberately designed by an architect to keep us contained? If you want to discover the terrifying glitches that prove human consciousness is trapped inside a high-fidelity digital simulation, click the video on your screen right now. I'll break down the ultimate matrix. See you there.